Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Four wrestling teams have new trophies to add to their school display, and an unbelievable story of a wrestler who accomplished something much bigger than a win on the mat. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Midland's Wilson Shinsky finished his senior season on the wrestling mat with a 21-11 record and an appearance in the Division I regionals. But none of the wins were probably the highlight of his season. That's because on the way to his regional bouts in Heartland on Saturday, February 18th, Shinsky and his dad, Steve, stopped their vehicle on I-75 to pull a man from a burning vehicle and helped resuscitate him. It's a remarkable story of being in the right place at the right time, as Wilson plans to study nursing in college and Dad Steve is a retired Midland firefighter. It didn't take long for them to see the driver was unconscious behind the wheel and in need of desperate help. They administered CPR until an off-duty paramedic arrived with an AED. After a shock to the driver, the monitor showed heart activity. By then, more help arrived and the driver was taken by ambulance to the hospital. At that point, the Shinskys continued to Heartland so Wilson could wrestle his regional matches. For more on this amazing story and to see a photo of Steve and Wilson with the driver they helped save, please visit MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to Vanessa Rodriguez of Ann Arbor father Gabriel Richard. She scored 23 in a 53-52 overtime win over Detroit Renaissance in a battle of the Catholic League champ versus the Detroit Public School League champ. To Hart senior Parker Hovey, he scored 24 points in a win over Mason County Central. The win gives Hart its first boys basketball title in 60 years. And the Mackinac City twins, Larissa and Lars Huffman, they both went over 1,000 career points just 5 days apart. Lars for the boys team, Larissa for the girls.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
What happens if a player bowls out of turn during a Baker game? First, what's a Baker game? That's when 5 members of a team alternate bowling frames. The number 1 bowler goes in frames 1 and 6 and on down the line. If a bowler goes out of turn during MHSAA competition, in accordance with USBC Rule 8, Item D, a dead ball would be declared. The delivery does not count. The pins must be respotted, and the correct bowler is then required to continue play. While a recent change to NCAA bowling rules would penalize bowling out of order on the wrong lane with a 0 for the attempt starting with the first infraction, the NCAA rule is not used for MHSAA competition. Instead, the frame is reset, and the correct bowler is free to continue.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Team wrestling finals were this past weekend at the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo, and 4 big-time wrestling programs took home the top prize. In Division 4, Hudson captured its second straight team title, defeating Bronson 58-12 in the finals. Hudson knocked off Iron Mountain in the quarters and Martin Climax Scots in the semis, registering an impressive 17 pins total over the weekend. In Division 3, Dundee won its 6th straight title and 14th overall by beating Whitehall 60-18. Dundee advanced to the finals by defeating Hart and Constantine. In Division 2, Lowell has now won a decade's worth of team titles in a row. Yes, Lowell won its 10th straight team title, knocking off Goodrich 42-18. The Red Arrows beat Bloomfield Hills' Brother Rice and Gaylord in the quarters and semis. And in Division I, after 2 straight runner-up finishes, Detroit Catholic Central is back on top. They outpointed Heartland 41-31 in an exciting final after beating Warren De La Salle Collegiate and Romeo to get to the final match. For full results, recaps, and more, check out MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll see you next week.
Lobbed ahead over the timeline to Gable. Gable strikes to the basket, elevates, slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got a right corner for Hagel. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back 3 for the lead. Buries it pure. Kobe Hagelin, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Hagelin. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good. Waiting Titus. A scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4. 56-45 the final. And hello everyone, and welcome to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio, and welcome to March on MGN. This is our first coverage of the MHSAA basketball tournament, and we start at Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer here with you tonight for a girls Division I. It's District 11, the championship game, and it's a pair of backyard rivals, Jenison and Hudsonville, here tonight on our enhanced radio coverage. A cold night for sure outside, and the snow's starting to come down. We thank you for joining us here tonight on Game Night, because it's going to be a ton of fun as we look to crown yet another division champion, or district champion, I should say, here in Division I. And this has been the district of Hudsonville. For the past 8 seasons, head coach Casey Glass's team has won their district going all the way back to the 2014-2015 school year. They look to make it 9 in a row tonight, but Jenison is looking to pull the upset, looking to pull the rivalry win, and looking to pick up a district championship for head coach Corey Timmer and their squad. These two teams met in the district championship at Granville a couple of seasons ago, back in 2021. Hudsonville won that one 65-35, so maybe a little bit more revenge in that regard as well for the OK Red rival Wildcats against Hudsonville. That's all how it sets up, and we have so much to get to. So many great matchups, great 3-4 year leaders for these two teams. This is kind of the last year of that championship core that Hudsonville had a few years ago that they rode all the way to the Breslin Center and won the first state championship in team history. We'll get to that. We'll get to some of the other matchups and much more here on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And with that said, we're going to step aside for our first time. When we come back, we'll start digging into some of the matchups and some of the keys to watch in this contest.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
"You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring."
and it was covered thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
It's a 3-week journey, unmatched in almost all sports. It takes 8 games of perfection, from Monday night at your home gym in districts to the grand stage of Michigan's largest college basketball arena. Neighborhood district foes for a week, then the best of the region, the best of your quarter of the state, and eventually, all eyes on the best of the best from each side of the state, with it all on the line in late March. Every game is a winner-takes-all and a pure display on the hardwood, with styles of play as varied as the corners of the state the teams travel from. To win, you'll need to conjure up some of your own March magic. No one makes it through this run unscathed. There's stories of perfection, stories of redemption, and stories of some of the great names and teams to lace them up in the mitten. We've seen them all here. The greatest teams and players on the west side conquering all. Title-winning moments only March supplies. And the end of dynasties and miracle runs that counter the unmatched elation with an equal emotional crushing. In the MHSAA basketball tournament, moments make the journey. Don't blink, because you might miss one. It's an arduous 3-week battle, but it goes by pretty quick. This is March on MGN. And this is March on MGN. Welcome back in here to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer with you here this evening on Game Night. First time tuning in to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Make sure you follow us at MI Game Night. We're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find us at that handle. We've got the game streaming on our Twitter and our YouTube pages, along with the main stream through MichiganSportsRadio.com. It is the Division I District 11 Championship here from Zeeland West, Hudsonville, and Jenison. We set up the base storylines, talking about the backyard rivalry, talking about the 8 district championships in a row that Hudsonville has won, of course, a state championship a couple years back as part of that run. And let's start with that state championship and really the last of the DNA from that state title team on this year's team. Now already a couple seasons back, going back to 2021, they were state champions. Of course, you first can look to Maddie Petrulia as a sophomore at that time in the starting lineup. Now the Loyola Chicago commit is playing in what will be her final district championship game with Hudsonville as a senior. Ellery Baker came off the bench on that championship team as well. She is now a senior, but besides that, you're looking at a lot of other pieces that maybe were deeper on the bench or were not up yet as sophomores and as freshmen on that championship team. So when we look at Coach Glass, it's been a little bit of a turning over period this year. The team hasn't quite been as dominant this year. Rockford took over the mantle as the top team in the OK Red and the state championship favorite out of the west side in Division I, but you know that MO for this team is still here. They had a big win over Zeeland West, 46-25 on Zeeland West home floor last time out. Jenison took down another local area rival on Wednesday. They took down Granville 50-44 to move on to this contest and have a chance to play for a district championship and continue on their season. You talk about experience. You talk about those type of pieces. Well, both of these teams have got long-time leaders. You mentioned a player like Petrulia, a player like Baker that are 3 or 4 year starters and key contributors for Hudsonville. The same thing can be said in particular for Taryn Maynard, the senior guard for Jenison, another 3-4 year starter that has led the way offensively, defensively, does a little bit of everything. Her younger sister Rudy also now joins into the mix with a little bit of that for Coach Timmer, but it's a lot of experience and a lot of building into this year for both of these teams. Is it a last hurrah for either? No, of course not. You know, of course, also what Coach Glass has built. I mean, you've won 8 district championships in a row, but for a building Jenison team as well, to have a key senior leader like Taryn now entering her final stretch in what could be her, or is her final district championship game, could be her final game in general based on the way things goes. It's, of course, always good to get that little bit extra burst and try to win it, and try to pull again would be a huge upset and a huge program-setting win for Jenison. If they can find a way to do it, they can to come away. This is a tough and grinding Jenison team. They only score 40 points per game on the season as a team, but they give up less than 50 at 48.5. Hudsonville scores just over 50 points per game at 52.5 points per game on the season. They give up only 44.9. So a very classic Coach Glass team. They mix up the defense. They'll show you some full court looks. They'll show you some half court looks. They'll show you some zone. They'll show you some man-to-man. It is almost possession by possession. You go back to that championship year for Hudsonville. What do they do so well? They mixed up the defense. They mixed up the offense pretty constantly. That's a key part of what they do. This is a Jenison team that rolls out essentially 4 guards and a wing when you look at their team. They may be listed as different positions, but in a lot of regards, you're looking at kind of 4 guards and a wing. They get in your face. They defend you a lot of times in the full court. They try to create some havoc, and that's exactly how this game is going to primarily set up in that regard. This is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, and how about we take a look at how these teams got here into the district championship game here in District 11 at Zeeland West. Of course, you take a look at Jenison getting by Zeeland East, then getting by Granville to find their way here. So a couple of tough games, in particular the rivalry game last time against an OK Red rival and a local rival in Granville. Hudsonville had the bye. They saw Zeeland West, took them down pretty handily on Wednesday night to move on to this District 11 championship game. By the way, March on MGN really starting to ramp up now. What do we have coming up next week? Well, we have complete coverage of the boys District 11, which is going to be played across the street, across the hall, however you may say it, over at Zeeland East. We will begin on Monday night as Granville takes on Holland from the Holland Dutch Dome. We will have coverage of that one starting at 6:30 p.m. on Monday night. Hudsonville has the bye. They will have the winner of Zeeland East and Jenison in their first round game, and then Granville or Holland will be taking on the winner of West Ottawa and Zeeland West. So very possibly that could be a very, very fun semifinal night. We'll have both games Wednesday night, and we will have the championship game on Friday. So District 11 on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. We will have you completely and entirely covered from start to finish, and cannot wait to get to that. But first off, cannot wait to get to this, a district championship game in Girls District 11 right on deck. Only about 13 minutes away now. A lot more to break down here on the Bates Agency pregame show. Do not go anywhere.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Hi everyone, Nate from MGN. Hopefully everyone is enjoying today's presentation of Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. We are incredibly proud of the last few seasons of MGN and the coverage and broadcast editions that we've been able to bring, including adding in-house produced video coverage this winter. We also are very, very excited for the future and have some big plans on how to expand and improve further upon our video, podcast, and radio coverage. We are incredibly thankful to Granville and the Michigan high school sports community for their support as we've seen our audience continue to grow like wildfire, seeing upwards of 8,000 to 10,000 people in total tuning in for some of our largest Friday night and playoff coverage games. We're also, of course, thankful to the Granville Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency and Centennial Securities for their great long-time presenting sponsorship of MGN. Because of them, all these great additions that we've been able to make over the last few years and all these plans we have going forward have been able to happen. Of course, also, we have to thank the community that is tuned in, and because of all that, we're in a position where we are looking to add partners here at MGN as we continue to look to improve that coverage going forward, along with our other due diligence looking on ahead. We can even reach out to you, the listener here today, if you, your company, or somewhere you know may have interest in partnering with Michigan Game Night. please feel free to reach out. MGN offers a unique opportunity to sponsor both the Granville area, get your ads reached out into the West Michigan area and beyond throughout the state of Michigan with playoff coverage. There's no one broadcast team and maybe even additional broadcasts within the MGN window that quite offer that sort of benefit for your company. And through customizable presenting sponsorship plans that are for the 2023-2024 school year, we'll even be able to throw in this winter onto these affordable plans. I think there's a unique customizable deal that could be met to help best find the needs of your company, meet them to MGN. We are so excited about what's coming. We're thankful to the community that's been able to support us over the last few years, and we're really, really ready to see what's next. And hopefully, along with the great support from the Bates Agency and Centennial Securities, we also are going to be able to march forward with even more great things going forward. We've added video coverage, and now I think it's time to add on even more to our video, radio, and podcast coverage going forward. So thanks again, everyone, for their support. And make sure if you do have interest to reach out through MichiganGameNight.com. You can find an entire contact page right there, in particular through email, migamenenight@gmail.com. There's phone numbers and more also listed that you can reach out to myself through on the Michigan Game Night website. Thanks again, everyone. Now let's get back to the game. And welcome back, everyone, to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It's the Girls Division I District 11 Championship game. Backyard rivals Hudsonville and Jenison in a border war to decide a district championship as Hudsonville looks for their 9th consecutive district title under Coach Glassling all the way back to the 2014-2015 school year. Looking at some of the keys to the game here on our Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, I think the pace and the style is the first thing that we're going to be looking at very interestingly in terms of the X's and O's. Talked about Genesis as a team, very in-your-face, full and half-court defensively. They play 4 guards and a wing realistically with kind of how they line up, especially with a team with a lot more size on the Hudsonville side of things, and they want to be in your face. I think they maybe, even though they are typically a slower team, they're a team that tries to create a little bit more slow, grinding havoc. They may be trying to pick up the pace a little bit. Hudsonville and Coach Glass can and will and do throw a little bit of everything at you. Just right now in their warm-ups as Hudsonville's just gone off the floor in front of us, you could see the Eagles working on their 1-2-2 matchup zone defense a little bit. They'll throw that at you. They'll throw some man-to-man in the half court. We've seen them run some 2-1-2 or 1-3-1 half-court traps going back in the past in the state championship year. They'll run some diamond-and-one havoc presses in the full court as well. They'll run maybe some 1-2-2 full court presses and traps. So it's a little bit of everything for this Hudsonville team. Coach Timmer will mix things up a little bit for Jenison as well. But Hudsonville, a lot of traps, a lot of turnovers forced in that way, traditionally how they're going to operate. Jenison, I think, going to be a little bit more in your face, using guards, using athleticism, and trying to maybe get Hudsonville out of position. Despite the fact that Hudsonville maybe looked to as a little bit bigger team and a little bit more of a grinding team, especially going back to their state championship years, and even last year more as more of a post-up type team, shooting very, very critical for both of these teams. Jenison is going to have 5 shooters a lot of times on the floor at once, and Hudsonville, it all starts with Maddie Petrolia. She's one of the best shooters in the state of Michigan. Some would even argue maybe the best shooter in the state of Michigan, committed to the University of Loyola Chicago and a 4-year sniper, and also a 6'1" shooting guard that plays at the perimeter on that side while also defending the interior. Petrolia is a one-of-one type of talent in terms of her offensive skill set, shooting from the outside, stretching the defense, but then locking down the paint and being a real rim protector inside. She can also switch onto the perimeter based on what kind of defense is being used if needed. Hudsonville, of course, a lot of in-your-face defenders as well. A player like Baker or Reifschneider we've seen for a few years. The one thing that Hudsonville's been working on all year in terms of replacing, of course, is the point guard position. You lose a pair of 4-year point guards, particularly Elena Diaz, ran the point along with J.C. Tubergen the last few years. You lose each of those 4-year point guards to your team. How do they fit that sort of system? Josie DeSmith, the senior, will start. She has played the point a lot and run the offense. Ella Reifschneider talked about their other senior guard. She'll do a lot of work as well running the point. Even Petrolia can run the point a little bit, but will more sit in the wing, sit in the corner looking for kickouts and for shooting opportunities where you'll see her become very dangerous. So that's been one of the first things that Hudsonville, 17-6 this year, of course, a very terrific record, but falls short of the 1-2 loss season they've had the last few years. That's been a little bit of what they've been trying to figure out, changing out both pieces in their backcourt after not having to worry one iota about what the primary backcourt looked like for the last 4 seasons. That's such a unique and odd thing, not odd thing, but fortunate thing I think for Coach Glass's team to have 2 players, 4 years, both top level, next level type players running your offense in the backcourt. Now finding new pieces, but of course still some of those transitionary pieces coming over from their state title team remaining there for Hudsonville. So that's all how we're going to look at this game. What is the pace going to look like, and so many other question marks that we're going to be able to get into and answer as this thing goes along. I'm certainly very interested to see where exactly this thing is going. One more break. When we come back, we'll get our final keys to the game. We'll get to the anthem, and we'll get to the district championship here in District 11. Division I girls district title game here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. This is March on MGN.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game.
Drive. Hi, I'm Chandler.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan Game Night, Tailgate Report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Granville, Wyoming. I think 6:30. We're on the air for that. Goodbye.
And Cam Regnerus has scoring report for the Panthers. 4 points thrown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough back. And welcome back here to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer with you here courtside at Zeeland West. And we'll wrap up our Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show now. It's the district championship here in District 11, Jenison and Hudsonville here this evening. What are some of the things I'm looking out for? Well, of course, I mentioned some of the shooting earlier on. I think getting hot early, trying to jump out to a lead in particular for Jenison, very critical. I think they want Hudsonville chasing the lead a little bit, maybe getting outside of their normal structure and system. That'll be key. Also, we have to watch the pace and style of the game. A little bit of chaos is good for both these teams, but I think Jenison, with some of their athleticism, the way they like to defend, that certainly will be the case. We'll be watching some of the shifting X's and O's. What coach can stay ahead of the other between Coach Timmer and Coach Glass to have an advantage in that regard. That'll do it for the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. District Championship in Girls Division I on deck right after the national anthem. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back here. It's March on MGN.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you gotta get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it, and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
All right, time to go here from Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. March on MGN presents the MHSAA Girls District 11 Championship game in Division I. Let's meet your starters tonight. Jenison, the road team in uniform and on the scoreboard, are coached by Corey Timmer. And for Jenison, they will be starting their sophomore guard, Selena Titus, along with the senior guard, Sophia Diaz. Rudy Maynard, the sophomore guard, gets the start alongside her sister, the senior guard, Taryn Maynard. And up front, it's the senior wing, Ella Hike, getting the start. A guard-oriented athletic lineup to start for Jenison. Hudsonville home team on scoreboard and in uniform for head coach Casey Glass, looking for their 9th consecutive state or district championship game here in Division I. They will be starting the senior guard Josie DeSmit alongside the senior guard Ella Reifschneider and the senior guard Maddie Petrulia. Up front, they have the senior wing Ellery Baker and the junior forward Allison Merrihew in the middle. Hudsonville, the home white uniforms, numbers, lettering, and trimming in blue. On the sides and on the pant legs or short legs of the uniform is an eagle wing design. Jenison in the traveling green uniforms. Jenison across the chest and numbers in white and gray trimming down the side. Hudsonville will go left to right across your radio dial. Jenison goes right to left to open things up here at Zeeland West. The Ducks logo at center court, a light parquet court, will be the battleground here this evening. Coach Glass, Coach Timmer look on. The final word among the huddles will break out, and we will get ready to go. Petrulia will do the jump for Hudsonville, their 6'1" senior guard. She will be jumping against Hike. Give the advantage there to Petrulia. Hudsonville left to right. Jennison right to left. Ball up. Tipped forward by Jennison and controlled up the left side off the opening tip by Rudy Maynard into the right corner for Hike. Hike, left-hand dribble, drives into the lane, floater, off the back iron, no, leaping rebound, secured by Ellery Baker. Baker hands off up the left side of the floor for Reif Schneider. She'll stop left wing, opening man-to-man defensively here for Jennison. Driving down the right side, Reif Schneider. Shot is blocked at the right block. Rebound down to Hudsonville. Left corner to Smith. Drives baseline, lost the handle. Stolen by a sprinting Taryn Maynard. Maynard, stutter step at the free throw line. Driving inside, loses the handle against the pressure from Petrulia. Out of bounds. Hudsonville takes over. 30 seconds gone, no score. Kind of a sloppy start for both teams. And Jennison will bring some full-court man-to-man pressure right here. It'll go token pressures up the left side of the floor. Reif Schneider will take the control here for the Eagles. Reif Schneider left wing, loosely watched by Selena Titus here defensively. Big screen set by Merrihew. Step back, right wing, Reif Schneider. Hands off for a curling Petrulia. She loses the handle on the floor to a side scrum. Tipped into the backcourt. Diving on the ball first is Sophia Diaz. She'll get tied up with Petrulia on the floor. A held ball is called. The alternating possession will stay here with Hudsonville. 7:04 in the first. No score early, almost a minute through this one. A lot of turnovers early in this contest as defense, which we knew would be such a critical point for each of these teams, has come to the forefront. Maddie Petrulia up top. Defensive matchup goes to Sophia Diaz on her. Right wing for DeSmit. DeSmit backs right short corner, whips up top with two hands to Baker. Baker spins into the lane, working the pivot foot, handoff Merrihew right block. Starts the dribble, backing down on Hike, hands off right wing Petrulia. In rhythm jumper, misses everything. The rebound then tips out off of DeSmit, and it goes back the other way. Maddie Petrulia off the mark on her first triple look of the game. Again, one of the best three-point shooters in the state of Michigan for 4 years, Petrulia. Selena Titus, sophomore guard, will run the offense here. A minute and a half in, no scoring yet for Jennison. Two-hand pass left wing to Diaz. Diaz holds, gives free throw line to Taryn Maynard. Maynard to her sister Rudy in the right wing, up top for Diaz. Diaz, handoff, right side, Titus with space, launches a triple, off the back glass, no, racing to the rebound first is Maynard, able to settle down to the right hand, kicks up top of the key onto Titus, fakes a drive left, drives right hand floater, off the window and good, and Jennison takes the first lead with 2 minutes gone. Whip pass over the timeline, trying to hit Ellery Baker. She is collided into by Hike, and that will be our first foul of the contest. Two minutes gone, 2-0 Jennison. Titus with the first basket. Right wing, Reif Schneider with it. Loosely watched defensively here by Titus. Swings up top on to Merrihew. Merrihew facing up. Swings left wing to DeSmit. DeSmit drives basket. Two-hand shot. Front rim no good. Rebound ripped down by Maynard. And it'll be run up here by Taryn Maynard left side. Crosses over left wing, defended by DeSmit. Step back, long two. Off the front rim, no. Then took a high bounce off the back glass. Petrulia rips down the rebound. And Hudsonville to push right wing to Baker. Stutters into the lane, spins right block. Working the pivot foot. Right hand hook shot is good with a friendly touch off the back glass. Jennison faithful maybe wanted to walk, spinning on the pivot foot right there for Baker. But she's tied it with 5.5 to go in the first. Hike, left block, hands off left corner for the sophomore Titus. Spinning into the lane, stops down low. Now a travel called on Titus. She got caught on that back foot, drags the foot, and Hudsonville takes the basketball back over. 5:16 in the first, 2-all. Near side, senior guard Ellery Baker gave it over left side on to Reif Schneider to run the offense for Hudsonville over the timeline. Jennison sitting back on the half-court man-to-man defensive look here. Reif Schneider fakes right, starts to drive left, now bounces around a screen, and an offensive foul is called for an illegal screen on Merrihew. That's the first foul of the game on Hudsonville. One on either team now. 3 minutes gone, first quarter. 2-2 defensive struggle early in this one. Couple turnovers, couple sloppy plays, and both teams have gotten one basket to go at the basket. Taryn Maynard, four-year scoring point guard, will run the offense, and it swung right wing on to Rudy Maynard. Defended here by Baker. Up top for Hike. Swings left corner to Titus, the sophomore, skipping for a cutting Rudy Maynard beneath the basket. Skip pass, right side Diaz. Shuffles the feet as she passes left wing. And the whistle blows, and Hudsonville takes back over on the traveling violation. 4:42 to go, first quarter, 2-2 here in the District 11 championship game. Hudsonville and Jenison. Backyard border war rivalry, and Hudsonville looking for a 9th consecutive district championship. Ella Reifschneider, free throw line, pulls up a jumper, blocked away by Titus. Rebound settled down by Reifschneider. Up top for Baker, driving, handoff, right block, Merrihew. Hook shot short, grabs her own rebound, whips up top through a pair of hands before eventually it's raced and settled down by Reifschneider to reset the offense. Screen set by Petrulia. Reifschneider walks into a triple, blocked and tipped away again by Titus. Taryn Maynard the rebound, she's running with it, right to left over the timeline. Maynard stops left wing, steps back into a three, missed it all long. Rebound tipped in bounds by Jenison. Hike is the last one to touch it as she pokes that one out of bounds, and Hudsonville takes over. Halfway through the first, 2-2. A lot of contact, a lot of aggressiveness early on in this one defensively on both ends of the floor. Josie DeSmit, the senior guard, on the offense here, left to right over the timeline for the Eagles. DeSmit chased left wing by Maynard, hands off for a curling Reifschneider. She'll hand off on the weave for Petrulia, who's bumped into, but an offensive foul on Reifschneider. Petrulia thinking the foul was going on the defense. Instead, a legal screen on Reifschneider. Jenison takes over. Her first foul, second on Hudsonville. 3:46 to go, first quarter, 2-all here. Hudsonville sets up half-court man-to-man defensively. Taryn Maynard to slow things down, alternating hands of the dribble. Feeds left wing here to Hike. Hike, top of the key, Diaz. Swings right corner to the sophomore Titus. Long pull-up two from 18 feet. Splashes that one down. Selena Titus with all four of the Wildcats' early points. It's 4-2 Jenison with 3:20 to go in the first. Reifschneider will back it out up top. Watch defensively here by Titus. Fakes right, drives left, gets cut off the left elbow, and Reifschneider backs it back out again. Big screen set by Petrulia. Reifschneider goes around it. Whip pass out of the reach of a lunging Baker left corner, out of bounds. Jenison takes over again. 3:09 in the first, 4-2. Good start for the Wildcats here. No substitutions yet for either coach to the 5-minute point here of the first quarter. Maynard right side for Titus. Right corner for Rudy Maynard. Rudy up top for Hike. Swung Titus left corner. Got the defender to jump. Drives. Floater off the front rim. No. Rebound is tipped up by Petrulia. Settled down by a sprinting Ellery Baker. Baker stops right wing. Hands off for Reifschneider. Pass to the top of the key. Poked and stolen straight away by Titus. The sophomore stutter step over the timeline. Throws left wing for Taryn Maynard. Maynard stripped to the basketball by Baker with some intense defense. Regathered by Maynard and thrown up top in between the rings to Titus. Titus, top of the key, Hike. Handoff for Titus again. Behind the back dribble, free throw line. Stops the dribble now. Titus lobs right corner. Diaz launches a long two. Rattles out harshly. Leaping rebound down to Baker. Baker throws right side to Reifschneider. Ahead of Reifschneider, but Ella able to race to it and settle it down right wing. Up top for DeSmit. The senior guard starts the dribble. Defended here by Taryn Maynard. Into the right wing, DeSmit. Screen set by Petrulia. Drives to the left elbow. Backs it out behind the arc. DeSmit resettles. Drives. Two-hand shot is forced away from the basket, but a foul called on Diaz. That will send Hudsonville to the line for our first free throws of the game. It's Josie DeSmit at the stripe right here. 2 fouls now on either team. That's the first on Diaz. First one banks home for DeSmit. First substitutions of the game. Reese Stedman checks in for the Wildcats as Sammy Sokolov will check in for the first time for Coach Glass in Hudsonville. One more at the line here for DeSmit to knot the game. And able to rattle that one home. 2 for 2 at the stripe for DeSmit. We're all knotted at 4. Titus kicks left elbow to Hike. Driving inside, quick whip pass, right corner for Titus. Long two from the corner, misses everything. Strong rebound tipped out of bounds by Stedman. It'll go Hudsonville's way with 1:43 in the first. All tied at 4. Defensive struggle early here in this district championship game in District 11. Division I MHSAA girls basketball. Handing out our first hardware here on March on MGN tonight. Top of the key, DeSmit. Gave it to Petrulia. Just one shot attempt. Missed a 3 early for Petrulia. Been pretty well targeted defensively. Handoff for DeSmit right side. Crosses to the free throw line, forced back out behind the arc. DeSmit will reset the offense with a right-hand dribble, bouncing into the right wing. Watched there by Maynard. Lobbing right block to Petrulia. Doubled on the post touch and fouled from behind by Hike. Third foul on Jennison. Second on Hike. Rudy Maynard will check back in here for Hike, who will take a seat off that second foul. So realistically, almost a 5-guard, at least for sure 4-guard lineup out right now for Jennison. Baseline right, overhand inbound pass. Petrulia gets it top of the key to Reif Schneider. Skips it on to DeSmit just to her right side. DeSmit bounces around a screen to the left elbow. Hands off for a curling Baker to the free throw line. Lost the handle. Stripped and stolen again by Titus. The sophomore off and running up the left side of the floor. Curls left wing, and a foul on Baker, who grabbed onto her on the turn. 3 fouls on either team. 59 seconds to go in the first. That is foul 1 on Ellery Baker, the senior wing. 4-4. Rudy Maynard to throw in, left side in front of the scorer's table. Lobs up top for Taryn. Right side, Titus starts the right-hand dribble, bounces top of the key, surveys, feeds hard to Rudy Maynard, who hands off to her sister here in the left wing. Up top for Titus. Loosely watched defensively by Reif Schneider. Up fake, long two, good. Selena Titus, the sophomore, with all 6 of Jennison's points. A tough one there from 18 feet on the pull-up. 6-4 with 35 seconds in the first. Reif Schneider, top of the key, will back it out, defended here by Titus. Reif Schneider with 28 seconds on the clock. Reconvenes, drives down the right side, stripped down the shot down low, and a foul called. They will get Titus on that call. 4th foul of the game on Jennison. That is foul 1 on Selena Titus, the terrific sophomore who has led the way early for Jennison. Reif Schneider, first free throw, good. Hit that one as pure as it gets and brings Hudsonville back within 1 here. Reif Schneider offsets the feet, right-hand free throw, pure on that one as well. Hudsonville 4 of 4 at the stripe early. They've knotted the game at 6 with 24 seconds to go. Titus down the left side, locked up and cut off left elbow defensively by Sokolov. Maynard in front of the timeline with 13 seconds, waiting for the final shot. Loosely watched with the arms spread wide defensively from DeSmit. Maynard up the right side with 7. To her sister Rudy, right wing. Rudy Maynard, hand off top of the key. Diaz swings left side to Titus with 1. She did not know the clock as she was locked up by Sokolov. That'll do it for the first quarter. 6-6 after 1. We will be right back.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
And welcome back to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. It is March on MGN. 8 minutes up on the board, tied at 6 after 1 in a short scoring summary. Jennison led and entirely led by Selena Titus, their sophomore guard, with all 6 of Coach Timmer's team's points. Coach Glass's team with an even 2 for DeSmit, 2 for Baker, and 2 for Reif Schneider. Traveling green uniforms, right to left over the timeline. Jennison gets it to start up the second half of play. Taryn Maynard with the dribble. Hudsonville working out of a little bit of a kind of loose matchup zone type defense. Maynard stutters into the left side, now gave it right side to Titus with space, launches a 3. That one 360s and rattles and shakes out, no good. Hudsonville pushes the pace behind the play to Sokolov. Handoff for a curling DeSmit. High left-hand scoop shot off the glass, will not fall. Rebound down to Rudy Maynard. Taryn Maynard to run the break. Maynard top of the key, cut off defensively by DeSmit, backs it out. and starts up the motion on the offense. Two-hand swing pass, right wing to Stedman. Hits the cutting Titus. Titus, floater in the lane, rattles out again. Cannot get the friendly touch on back-to-back shots. And the Eagles down to the rebound with Petrulia, who hands off for Reif Schneider. Petrulia screen, Reif Schneider goes around it. Skip pass onto the curling Baker. Two-hand force feed off the bottom of the rim, no, but she's taken down from beneath by Diaz and fouled. 1 minute off the clock in the second. 2 at the line coming up here for Baker. 5 fouls on Jennison, and the foul actually is going to go on Reese Stedman, the freshman, her first of the game right here. Baker bends the knees, free throw up, rattles out. First missed free throw of the game for Hudsonville. They'd opened 4 for 4 at the stripe. One more for Baker. Too strong on that one. Rebound down to Titus. Splits a pair of defenders. Titus crossover dribble over the timeline. Hard pass settled down by Stedman, right wing to the corner. Rudy Maynard launches a triple. Off the back rim, no. High leaping rebound down to Petrulia. Reif Schneider with it. Lobbing right corner for Baker. Baker splits a pair of defenders. On the floor, loses the handle. Stolen away here by Rudy Maynard. Taryn run the offense, top of the key. Stutter step down the left side of the lane, turns the back at the elbow, and backs it out behind the arc. Staying with her defensively, here's DeSmit. Taryn Maynard up top for Rudy. Maynard probing inside, kicks up top for Stedman. She'll back it out with a left-hand dribble. Baker all over her, harassing the freshman. Stedman runs down the left side, kicks left corner onto Diaz. Diaz whips free throw line to a curling Taryn Maynard. Left-hand scoop shot, falls short off the front rim. Rebound down to DeSmit. Now Hudsonville to run. Josie DeSmit feeding left corner to Sokolov. Swung left wing to Reif Schneider. Up fake and starts the dribble. Reif Schneider hands off on a skip for DeSmit. DeSmit screen from Petrulia. Should go around it to the free throw line and back it out into the right wing. DeSmit now resettling, probes, kicks right corner for Baker. Spins right block, left hand shot, good. What a move, spinning into the lane for Ellery Baker. She has 4. Hudsonville goes on top 8-6 with 5:40 to go in the second. Taryn Maynard, top of the key, defended here by a crouched Josie DeSmit. Right side for Rudy Maynard. Skips around a defender to the free throw line. Kicks left corner, catch and shoot 3 off the back iron. Too strong for Stedman. Rebound out of bounds. Last touched by Jennison. Also, there's actually going to be a foul on the ball out of bounds that he will get Sophia Diaz on the push. Her second, team 6. So Hudsonville shooting free throws soon. It'll be Height coming in here for Diaz. Additionally, Merrihew checks back in for Sokolov for Coach Glass and Hudsonville. Thinner team in terms of bench depth for Hudsonville this year than Coach Glass has had to work with in past years, leading to a little bit more of a half-court style team than what they've potentially been in past years, but they've been out and running in this one. Merrihew lobs for a cutting Petrulia, all alone, gets free, and Maddie Petrulia gets onto the score sheet with a right-hand lay-in off the window. 10-6 with 5 minutes to go in the second. Hudsonville with the largest lead of the game. Hike top of the key. Defended by Petrulia. Left side for Titus. Titus whips right side to Stedman. Stedman, left wing. Maynard, Rudy Maynard probing to Taryn right wing. Defended by DeSmit. Hits a cutting Hike. Right hand shot off the window. Good. Ella Hike on the score sheet. The first non-Titus score. 10-8 game. Hudsonville pushes the pace. Merrihew free throw line. Kick out Reif Schneider. Stared at a long 3. Steps around a defender. Shot from the free throw line strong. Rebound is secured by Stedman. Here is Maynard weaving through the defense. Taryn Maynard to the top of the key. Stutters around to Smith. Drives. Left hand hook shot off the window. Good. Taryn Maynard goes coast to coast. We're tied at 10 with 4:18 in the second. DeSmit. Right wing Petrulia. Handoff for DeSmit on the curl. Josie DeSmit running the offense, motioning and throws left wing to Reif Schneider. Reif Schneider up top. Petrulia out of her grasp into the scorer's table. Out of bounds. Jennison basketball. 4 minutes exactly to go in the second. We're knotted at 10 here. And a timeout is called from Coach Timmer and the Jennison bench. We're going to step aside, be right back here. 10-all halfway through the second quarter. Girls Division I District Championship game here from Zeeland West.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit bowlingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
And welcome back to Zeeland West, back underway out of Coach Timmer's 32nd timeout for the Wildcats. Knotted at 10 with 3:55 to go. Selena Titus, the sophomore guard, has 6 of her team's 10 points early. Hands off right wing for Taryn Maynard. The senior backs it out in between the rings, defended by DeSmit. Lobs right corner for Titus. Up fake and a travel. She shuffled the feet on the up fake. A little bit unknown on that decision on the drive. Hudsonville takes back over. 3:43 in the second, 10 all. DeSmit will call it the play. Goes horn set, gets a screen set right wing here from Petrulia. Lobbing back for Petrulia, cutting to the basket, gets free. Right hand layup is good. Again, Petrulia will cut through out of the horn set and score. 3.5 to go, second quarter, 12-10. Hudsonville back on top. Maynard swings left corner here. Rudy Maynard with it now. Defended by Baker, top of the key to the right wing for Hike. Hike, up fake, drives, left elbow, stops, Euro into the lane. Wild right hand shot. Bangs on in for Maynard. Got it to go. We're tied at 12. 3 minutes to go in the second. Reifschneider, hand off Petrulia. Titus got her hand in there, poked it away. Petrulia and Titus go crashing into each other at center court. Hudsonville comes away with the basketball with Reifschneider. Right corner for Baker. Baker backing right elbow into a double team, poked by Titus. Stolen away by Baker. Shuffles the feet on the turn towards the basket. A travel is called. She goes palms up towards the official afterwards, but it will be Jenison basketball once more. Diaz checks in for Stedman. 2:47 to go in the second. 12-12 defensive battle for the district championship. Taryn Maynard with it here. DeSmit clapping her hands defensively in front. Maynard to Rudy Maynard, right wing. The right corner for Titus. Titus hits a cutting Taryn Maynard. Right hand scoop shot off the front rim. No. Rebound down to Baker. Baker pushing the pace to DeSmit. Titus gets a hand on it, tips it out of bounds into the crowd. Hudsonville get a left side inbound in the front court. 2:25 in the second. DeSmit to throw in. DeSmit able to get it in between the rings here to Reifschneider. Loosely watched defensively by Titus. Throws left side hard to Petrulia. In rhythm triple off the front rim, no. Rebound Merrihew. High put back off the glass and good. Merrihew puts the Eagles back on top as we continue to trade baskets in both directions at a little bit of a slow pace. His defense has maintained the key of the day. Hike, handoff for Titus. Stripped to the basketball and stolen here by Petrulia. Reifschneider back to Petrulia over the timeline. 4 points for Maddie. 0 for 2, though, behind the arc for the senior guard. Left corner for Baker. Drives, left block, floater, good. Able to split a pair of defenders. Baker able to score. She has 6, tied with Titus to lead all scorers. 16-12 Hudsonville. Titus lobbing right block to Hake. Left-hand shot pushes through a pair of defenders. Good. Tough one for Hike. She now has 4. 16-14 game. Eagles push left block Baker. Hand off curling DeSmit. Lobs right wing Reifschneider. Catch and shoot 3. Off the front rim. Long rebound secured by Titus and Jenison. 1:20 to go in the second. 16-14. Left side. Catch and shoot 3. Rudy Maynard. Right down the hatch and good. Maynard, the sophomore, puts Jenison back on top, 17-16. Quick little 5-0 run for the Wildcats. Has them feeling it. DeSmit, left side, defended by Maynard. Up top for Baker. Looks at the basket, drives, right-hand scoop shot. Strong, rebound down to Merrihew. Kicks up top with 2 hands to DeSmit. Cut off left elbow. Left corner, Reifschneider. They have a shoulder fake, drives on Titus. Whip pass, left corner. On for Petrulia. Step back 3. Off the connector, no. Fight for the rebound. Foul on the floor. I believe they're going to get they're going to get Titus and Jenison. And that'll be the 7th team foul on the Wildcats, and it will send Reifschneider to the line for a 1-and-1. Second foul on Titus. Titus will take a seat off her second foul here with 41 seconds to go in the second. Reif Schneider, a 1-1, trailing by 1. Feet offset, first free throw. Reif Schneider rattles home. Used a friendly touch off the glass as well. 3 points now for the senior guard. Bryn Timmer, the junior center, will check in for the first time for Jenison as Hike will take a seat. One more at the line here for Reif Schneider. Bends the knees, right hand flicked up, free throw, splashes down pure. 4 for Reif Schneider. Hudsonville goes back on top, 18-17 with 37 seconds remaining in the second. Taryn Maynard with it, held to 4 points so far in this one. Right side for Rudy, swings right corner. Diaz lobbing inside, picked off by Merrihew with 24 seconds. Here is DeSmit and the Eagles. With the lead, they will hold for the final shot. DeSmit backs it out with 18. Taryn Maynard follows her to the top of the key with this one. DeSmit starts up the drive to the right side. Handoff for Reif Schneider with 8 seconds. Left side Baker, kicks left corner DeSmit. Drives baseline, lost the handle. Last touched by DeSmit, out of bounds with 3 seconds, down 1. Jenison gets it to close the second half. Hudsonville brings a little bit of full court pressure with DeSmit and Baker shadowing the backcourt. Here's Taryn Maynard weaving through a pair of defenders. Gets to half court, launches a shot, but did so running into the defender after the buzzer. All right, halftime. Tough defensive struggle. First to 40 may not even be the operative of the word of the day in this one at the break. 18-17. Hudsonville by 1 over Jenison. Welcome into the Centennial Securities halftime show. Nate Dreyer with you. A lot of energy, been a tough game, and the defenses, of course, for both teams have come to play. Selena Titus, the sophomore, terrific to start this game for Jenison. Had their first 6 points of the game. They found a little bit more balance offensively after that. Ellery Baker leads Hudsonville in scoring. She has 6. A lot more to get to here on the Centennial Securities halftime show. We will be right back.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches in state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Welcome back, everyone, to Zeeland West Division I District 11 championship game here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. 18-17. Hudsonville leading Jenison at the half. This is the Centennial Securities halftime show, and Centennial Securities is a community service-focused, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values. Since the day they opened their doors in 1978, they have and will continue to recognize that it's not prudent to take a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. So check out Centennial Securities online at centennialsec.com. Scoring recap before we'll get into some more talking points here at the half. For Jenison, Selena Titus leads all scorers with 6. Ella Hike next with 4, along with Taryn Maynard with 4. Rudy Maynard hit a triple. She has 3. For Hudsonville, Ella Ellery Baker leading the Hudsonville scoring attack with 6. Reifschneider with 4. Petrulia with 4. And then Merrihew and DeSmit each with 2 at the break. Aggressiveness, I think the first word that comes to mind. A low-scoring game, an 18-17 game with Hudsonville leading at the half. But defenses for both teams have been in your face. It's mostly been man-to-man. It's been physical. There's been a lot of contact allowed at points as well. You wound up seeing Jenison, who's been a little bit more aggressive team and getting after it. They ultimately did get into, or Hudsonville got into the bonus right at the end of the half. So that was something to look for heading into the second half, where the aggressiveness will remain with, what sort of foul trouble each team might get into. Diaz and Titus both wound up with 2 fouls at one point in that half. All things to keep an eye on. But it's been an aggressive game. It's been a tough game. And it's been a defensive game where possessions have meant more and more. I think from that standpoint, there were points where Hudsonville was starting to push the ball, push the break a little bit. In particular, you saw Baker helping lead the break along with Reifschneider doing so. Would not be surprised if we see the game slow down a little bit in that regard in the second half as each possession becomes more and more critical to get a score in. I mean, 1st to 40, I think, is a pretty fair way of how this thing's going to go. I think what we've seen so far is going to be the pace, is going to be the style where both these coaches want to be. They don't want to turn into anything getting out of hand too much. Even when you saw Hudsonville push the pace, they really weren't getting many scoring opportunities out of it. They were pushing and then forced to reset the offense and drive. Some of their best-looking offensive looks for Hudsonville, at least that was setting up on a couple occasions horn sets at the top of the key with a couple of screens set. Petrulia rolling off of that for an open look off a nice feed. They went to that. Petrulia kind of struggling from outside, 0 for 3 scoring and shooting right now from deep. For Petrulia, she's been getting her work done inside along with Baker with 6 for Jenison. It was a lot of an offense that was kind of allowing their great scoring guards to go. Selena Titus was 6, and she had 3 really tough baskets that she was able to score at 3 different levels. Rudy Maynard hit a tough 3. Taryn Maynard hit a couple of tough baskets, or a couple of tough shots, easy for me to say, at the basket. That's really where their first half scoring was found. It was a little bit more on the individual versus the team offense that Hudsonville was trying to get going against a lot of the physicality. We saw Hudsonville set a couple of illegal screens early as well. That's something I think to certainly keep your eye on with the way that they're playing the game and how things are getting so grabby and defensive-minded from these two teams, and where a lot of contact is coming in on each and every time a screen is set and a play is set. All right, this is going to be a fascinating second half. Again, I mean, open the game with a talking point. We'll continue to talk to it. Hudsonville has won every district championship since 2014-2015. That is 8 in a row for Coach Glass's team. The district's changed a little bit, but for the most part, looked this way. It has been all Hudsonville for 8 years. Jenison trying to build this program under Coach Timmer. A real chance to make a crazy statement here tonight and try to come away with the district championship of their own. They've been right in there, certainly, and it's looked like a toss-up through the halfway point. What coach will have the advantage? What team will have the advantage out of the X's and O's changes at the break? All remains to be seen. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back with more here on the Centennial Securities Halftime Show.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. Hey, my car! And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
And welcome back here to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer with you from Zeeland West tonight. 90 seconds on the halftime clock. Both teams back out of their locker rooms. X's and O's changes have been made in warm-ups underway. Another quick look at our scoring recap. Selena Titus leads Jenison with 6 points. Maynard and Hike each come away with 4. Rudy Maynard had 3. That was Taryn Maynard with 4. For Hudsonville, led in scoring by Ellery Baker. She had 6. Josie DeSmit, 2. Ella Reifschneider, 4. And then Mary Hugh with 2. And Maddie Petrulia with 4 for Coach Glass and Hudsonville. Keep an eye on these first few minutes. We went over some of those things to watch, talking about the pace, talking about the X's and O's changes. We have traditionally seen a lot of different defenses that Hudsonville will throw out at you. They've mostly stayed man-to-man half court. Does that maybe start to get changed? Does maybe Jenison turn up the wick a little bit more? That's what we're watching for. I think we'll learn very quickly. What does the pace look like? What are the differences in X's and O's? Are there major changes made, or is it smaller things? How they're defending ball screens, how you've seen some of the hedging and some of the aggressiveness from either teams, in particular Jenison, change on those sort of plays. Those are some of the things I think to right away keep an eye on. Jenison wrapping up their warm-ups. Final shots getting off for Hudsonville. Ball's getting returned to the rack, and we are ready to go with the second half. Same lineups that opened the first half, open the second half. Hudsonville home white jerseys. They're the home team on scoreboard as well, up 18-7 at the break. Jerseys in white, numbers, lettering, and trimming in navy blue. Jenison in the traveling greens. White trimming down the side, numbers and lettering also in white for Jenison. They open with Titus, Diaz, Maynard, and Hike. For Hudsonville, they open the second half again with DeSmit, Baker, Reifschneider, Merrihew, and Petrulia. Hudsonville this time goes right to left across your radio dial. They get the ball to open up the second half. So Jenison will go left to right. And here we go. Second half underway. 18-17. A tough, grinding first half of play opened things up. DeSmit rolls around a screen to the right elbow, bouncing off the defender. Jump pass to the free throw line to Baker. Turns into the lane. Right corner for DeSmit. DeSmit screen from Petrulia, denies it, drives baseline, floater misses everything strong, and Titus rips down the rebound. The sophomore had the first 6 points of the game for Jenison, will lead the offense right here. Left side for Hike. Driving on Merrihew to the free throw line, right corner, Taryn Maynard, space, launches a 3. High arcing shot off the front rim, no, and nearly falling out of bounds. A good job off the back foot by Reifschneider to save the rebound for a sprinting Baker. Baker, Euro, two-hand feed, hits the bottom of the rim, but a foul is called, and that will send her to the line. 7:18 to go in the third. First foul of the half on Jenison. That is also a foul on Selena Titus. That is the third on the sophomore right here. Free throw up and good for Baker. Bit of miscommunication. Coach Timmer coming over to check what number the foul was on. Whether it was on 4 or 3, it is going to be on Titus. That'll stay, and that will mean that Stedman will come in here for Titus. One more here for Baker at the line. Baker offsets right foot just in front of the left. 19-17 lead for Hudsonville. Splashes that one down. $7:13 and less in the third. 20-17. Drive from Hike, whips the hands free, left block, right hand push shot, falls strong, no good. Rebound Petrulia, and Reifschneider on the offense. Reifschneider hesitates, hands off for a curling Baker. Into the lane, right hand floater, misses everything short, races to her own rebound, but beaten there by Maynard, who will take it up the floor with behind the back dribble over the timeline. Taryn Maynard, stutter step, left elbow, feeds to Diaz, kicks out left wing to Stedman, and back up top. To the free throw line for Hike. Hike lobbing left corner Stedman. Freshman turns her back, angles into the short right corner, short left corner, hands off for Hike left corner. Left wing for Maynard, holding the ball. Now starting the dribble with the left hand, defended by DeSmit. Lobs a pass into the lane, poked and stolen by Hudsonville and a sprinting Merrihew. Hands off left wing for DeSmit. DeSmit up top, Petrulia. Swings, Reifschneider, deep three. Off the connector, no. And the rebound is settled down here by Hike. 6:11 to go, third quarter, 3-point lead for the Eagles. Maynard defended by DeSmit, right wing for Rudy Maynard. Up top, Stedman. Stedman starts the right-hand dribble, skips right wing for Hike, turning on the left pivot foot. Top of the key, Taryn Maynard peers at the basket, step back three, shot tipped away, taken by Petrulia, and Hudsonville with it here. Petrulia, right corner. Up top, Reifschneider, jabs, drives, skip pass, right corner Petrulia, drives the left-hand dribble, pull-up shot, right elbow, got the friendly touch off the backboard and goes. 6 points for Petrulia, 22-17, all Hudsonville to start this second half. And Jennison and Coach Timmer will respond with a timeout. 5:26 in the third. Great start for Hudsonville as they have gone on a run to start this second half. We will be right back.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
Welcome back, Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. This is March on MGN. Nate Dreyer with you here. It's the MHSAA Girls District 11 final here in Division 1. 22-17, Hudsonville leading Jennison with 5:26 to go in the third. A 4-0 run to start the second half for Hudsonville as they have come out on both ends of the floor. Coach Timmer called a quick timeout for Jennison. Out of it, the Eagles in the traveling green uniforms will have it here out of the break with 5:26 in the third. Hudsonville goes half-court man-to-man pressure defensively as they've had most of the game. Stedman to throw in from front of the scorer's table, leaning and able to find Diaz right wing, force feeds one down low that's poked and stolen by Merrihew on to Baker, and Hudsonville will restart the break. Top of the key to Smith. Defended by Taryn Maynard with 5:15 in the third. Screen from Petrulia. DeSmit bounces around at right side, throws all the way across left corner Petrulia. Quick catch and shoot three, misses everything short as Petrulia continues to fight it from deep, fight for the rebound, and a foul on Merrihew and the Eagles, the first of the half on Hudsonville. 5:05, that's 2 fouls now on Merrihew. Taryn Maynard to the top of the key, shadowed right wing here by DeSmit. Crossing over around a screen to the free throw line. Maynard turns the back, spins in the lane. Runner with the right, got the touch off the connector and falls. Tough one for Maynard. She has 6 to tie the leading score on her team. It's 22-19. Back within a score here for Jennison. DeSmit bounces around a screen, drives down the left side of the lane, stops, kicks up top, maybe got away with a walk into the lane on to Baker. She does not get away with a walk as she turns off the pivot foot. Travel is called. Jennison takes over with those 3 fouls. The sophomore Titus will check in here for Stedman. 4.5 in the third. Maynard left wing, loosely watched defensively by DeSmit. Goes around the screen left side. In the wing, driving left side. Taryn Maynard feeds left side to Hike. Runs across the floor, kicks right hand or right side with 2 hands on to Titus. Titus to the free throw line, hits a cutting Maynard, takes it out behind the arc. Kicks up top here for Titus. Peers at the basket, throws with 2 hands to a curling Hike left elbow. Up top, Titus, stutter step. Took 1 too many steps there as she started that little stutter step move before the dribble. Travel is called. Hudsonville basketball. 4:05 in the third. 22-19. DeSmit with it here for Hudsonville over the timeline at the top of the key. To Smith down the left side. Underhand handoff for a curling Reifschneider. Reifschneider on the weave, hands off for Petrulia. Able to settle it down, steps into some space, launches a three. Off the back iron, another miss from deep from Petrulia, who continues to fight it right now from deep. Maynard, top of the key, swings right corner to Diaz. Diaz with some space, feeds free throw line to Titus, cuts to the basket, right hand push shot, good off the window. Titus back on the board. She has 8, and Jennison within 1 with 3.5 in the third. 22-21. Josie DeSmit right wing, screen from Baker to the top of the key, back to Baker right wing. Hudsonville slowing it down offensively. In between the rings, Reifschneider working left side, setting up a new play. Screen from Petrulia, goes around it. Reifschneider, feed, poked and stolen by Titus. She'll run it out the length of the floor, cut off right elbow by Petrulia. Back to Titus right wing. Titus jabs, launches a three, off the front rim, no good. To a side scrum, on the floor for a rebound. Held ball is called. Alternating possession stays with Jennison. 2:58 in the third, 22-21. Stedman will check back in here for the Wildcats, as it'll be Hike going to the bench. Baseline left inbound here for Rudy Maynard. Lobs up top for Diaz. From 25 feet, throws right side into the wing for Titus. Fakes inside, pull-up shot from 15, splashes it down. 10 points for Titus, and Jennison goes back on top. Hudsonville pushes the pace, tic-tac-toe, driving to the basket. Merrihew, right-hand feed off the window and good, and Hudsonville goes back on top, 24-23. Titus to the top of the key, defended by Reifschneider. Throws left side for Stedman. Skip pass, free throw line. Taryn Maynard turns, left-hand floater off the window, and then a 360 does not fall. Rebound down to Hudsonville again. DeSmit to run the offense left wing. Eagles by 1, 24-23 with 2:15 in the third. Reifschneider left wing, gets the motion going, skips top of the key to Petrulia, right side to DeSmit. DeSmit working the right-hand dribble. Setting up the offense to the top of the key to Baker. Hits a cutting Merrihew. She got free and scores off the window again. 6 for Merrihew. Back-to-back baskets and a 3-point lead for Hudsonville. 1:52 in the third. Left wing, Rudy Maynard. On a Taryn Maynard. Deep catch and shoot three. Left wing. Bangs that one down. Good. 9 points for Taryn Maynard. We're tied at 26 with 1:39 and less in the third. Baker on the left wing for the Eagles, defended by Rudy Maynard. Wild pass, top of the key, settled down on was a little more than just a handoff to Petrulia. Thrown right side for Reifschneider. Reifschneider with hands above her head, up top for DeSmit. DeSmit working the left foot on the pivot, now starts the dribble. Right side to Reifschneider. Reifschneider peering at the basket with 1:13 in the third quarter clock, up top for Merrihew. Merrihew hits the cutting Baker, settles it down, left block, turns the back into the lane, leaning shot and a foul called. Rudy Maynard called on the grab on the shot. Second foul of the half on Jennison. 1:05 to go in the third, and Baker will go to the line. Baker with 8, leading Hudsonville in scoring right now. That's the first foul on Rudy Maynard, the sophomore. First free throw, Baker pure. Barely even rippled the net on that one. Diaz will check out as Hike will come in. One more here for 20 and white. Ellery Baker, the 5'9" senior wing. A part on that rotation of the championship team 2 years ago. Second free throw falls short off the front rim. Rebound down to Jennison Titus to run the offense left wing. Final minute of the third. Hudsonville by 1, 27-26. Titus crossover into a long 2. Off the back rim, high leaping rebound secured by Petrulia. Been cleaning up on the glass, just 6 points offensively for Petrulia. She'll swing it left corner. DeSmit catch and shoot 3 off the connector, no. 41 seconds on the clock. Rebound here in the third quarter down to Titus. Titus pushes it on to Hike. Hike, Euro step, right hand shot, good. Oh, she broke the ankles of Baker, and Hike with 6 puts Jennison back on top. Reifschneider, top of the key, DeSmit. DeSmit around a Baker screen. To the left block, up top for Baker. Turns the back, give a shoulder fake. Driving on into Smith. Right-hand shot, no. Rebound and a follow from Merrihew won't go. Merrihew pokes the rebound to the top of the key. It's knocked into the backcourt by Titus. 6 seconds to go. Here's Reifschneider as it's taken by Hudsonville. Reifschneider bouncing right side, handoff to Smith. Unable to get a shot off through some contact. And we go to the third quarter. Jennison leading Hudsonville. The Eagles trying to hang on and win district championship number 9 in a row. But Jennison with the advantage as we go to the final frame. Do not go anywhere.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back to Zeeland West, the final quarter of the District 11 Championship. Hudsonville, right to left across the radio dial, takes it to start the final frame. The Eagles trail by 1 to Jennison as the Wildcats looking for the ultimate upset and to snap the district championship streak at 8 for Hudsonville. Baker to the free throw line, spinning into the lane, stopped left block, kicks up top. Reifschneider launches a triple off the front rim, no. Rebound secured Baker, but a foul on the floor against the Wildcats against the Wildcats Maynard. Rudy Maynard, her second, team's third. 7:41 in the fourth. Baseline left inbound here for Josie DeSmit. DeSmit lobs up top for Petrulia. Defended here by Diaz. To the right wing for Reifschneider. She'll back it out with a left-hand dribble. Reifschneider, loosely watched by Hike, top of the key. 30 seconds off the fourth quarter clock. Jennison leads by 1. Swung left wing to DeSmit. Drives. Floater left baseline. Hits the side of the backboard. Off the floor. Secured by Taryn Maynard. And Jennison to run. Maynard feeding her sister. Rudy Maynard. Right-hand shot off the window. Good. In transition. The sophomore with 5. And a 3-point lead for Jennison with 7 to go in the fourth. Reifschneider stops free throw line. Gives to DeSmit. DeSmit got free. Kicks it on to Merrihew, right block. Her two-hand shot is deflected away, and Jennison takes the rebound. 6:56 in the fourth. The Wildcats will slow it down right here. I think DeSmit maybe had a chance to take that shot right there. Ultimately tried to pass it off. Merrihew unable to knock it down from the block. Left side, Taryn Maynard up fake, peering at the defense. Directing traffic in the wing, now backs it out with a right-hand dribble. Up top for Rudy Maynard. Rudy fakes left, drives across to the right, handoff to Titus, right wing, hard push pass, left corner, secured by a curling Diaz, back up top for Titus, swings right corner to Hike. The senior feeding right block Maynard, she is grabbed and fouled by DeSmit. Second foul of the half on Hudsonville. 6:18 in the fourth, that's foul 1 on DeSmit. Reese Stedman checks in for Jennison, Sammy Sokolov checks in for Hudsonville. Inbound right corner Diaz, swung to the right side for Titus. Double digits, our lone double-digit scorer in this game. Got on to Hike. Hike, Euro into the lane, right-hand floater, good. She has 8. It's 32-27, a 5-point lead, Jennison's largest lead. Petrulia in the right wing will back it out. Petrulia, screen set by Baker, walks into a 3. It falls short, she is fouled. Petrulia fouled on the shot, will go to the line for 3. 5:56 in the fourth. The foul is on Selena Titus. That is the 4th on the sophomore. Check that. They will change the foul to being on Diaz 4. Foul is on Diaz. That is her third. First free throw, Petrulia rattles out. Just 6 in this one for Petrulia. Has not made a 3 yet on more than 5 attempts and struggling. One more for Petrulia. Bends the knees. Right hand free throw. Got it. 7 now for Petrulia. Offsets the right foot just in front of the left. Free throw up and good. Petrulia goes 2 of 3 at the line. She has 8. Hudsonville back within 1 score, 32-29. 5:53 in the fourth. Eagles bring out a half-court 1-3-1 trap right here. Maynard, right side, pass is tipped and just saved in front of the half-court line by Titus, who starts the dribble. Titus, jumping pass left side on a skip to Taryn Maynard. Escapes a couple of defenders right wing, up top for Titus. Titus, right side, Taryn Maynard. Maynard back to Titus, left wing. Zone in the trap, moving on to her. And a foul is called as they say there's a push on Baker. Third foul of the half on Hudsonville. Second foul on Baker. 5.5 to go in the fourth. 32-29. Base or a left side inbound here for Reese Stedman coming up, the freshman. Pounds the rock, peers her option, feeds in front of the timeline to Maynard. Maynard, right corner to Titus. She'll take it out right wing and feed up top here for Taryn Maynard. Trapped at the half-court line and fouled by a pushing DeSmit. Fourth foul on Jennison. In front of the scorer's table right side, Stedman to throw in 5:20 in the fourth. That is 2 fouls now on DeSmit. Eagles stay in the 1-3-1 half-court trap. Maynard to the left side, trap, spinning on the pivot, skips it right left corner to Hike. Hike throws up top on to Taryn Maynard. Maynard will back it out right wing, back left side here for Hike. She's trapped. Escaping a pass to the right wing, but a timeout called from the Jennison bench first. 5:05 in the fourth. 32-29 is the Jennison advantage. The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS-HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRSHOF.com. Have you heard the exciting news that Michigan Basketball Academy and Storm Basketball have joined forces to bring the best basketball experience in West Michigan? Tryouts will be held on March 12th. So for more information, go online to MichiganBasketballAcademy.com. 5:05 fourth quarter, 32-29, Jennison leading Hudsonville. Eagles, winners of 8 straight district championships. Their rivals from right down the road trying to end that streak tonight. They have the 3-point advantage. Hudsonville extends a half-court 1-3-1 trap. Taryn Maynard throws it left side to Rudy Maynard. Back to Taryn right side. Splits a pair of defenders. Right corner for Diaz. Back right side to Maynard. Rudy now left corner for Hike. Hike lobbing up top to Rudy. Settles it down over top of the trap. Jennison taking time off the clock with 4:44. Down to the left block. Hike, right hand push shot short. Rebound down to Hudsonville. Reif-Schneider the 4.5 in the fourth. Down 3. Screen from Petrulia. Reif-Schneider stops right wing. Left side. Catch and shoot 3. Petrulia to tie. Got it. Maddie Petrulia with the triple. She has 11. And Hudsonville knocks it at 32. They stay in the 1-3-1 trap. Skips right side to Diaz. Back up top, Taryn Maynard. Taryn left side for Rudy. Rudy trapped the sophomore. Working the pivot foot. Spinning. And a timeout is called against, a foul, I should say, is called against Hudsonville's DeSmit. Her third, 5th on the Eagles. 4:09 in the fourth. 32-32. District championship here in Division I from Zeeland West. Taryn Maynard here. Hudsonville going back to man-to-man defensively. Maynard. Down the left side, skips for Rudy. Left corner, Rudy Maynard. High off the glass, no. And the rebound is down to Reifschneider. Jumps on to Sokolov. She'll run over the timeline up the right side. Sokolov, handoff, Baker right corner. Baker starts the dribble, fakes left, drives right, but a timeout. And a full timeout at that is called from Coach Glass and the Eagle bench. 3:44, fourth quarter, 32 all. It's not too late to apply for admission at Ferris State University, and you have to make sure you sign up for orientation. Ferris State also offers summer camps in all sports. Check them out online at ferris.edu. Golf Emporium has a surplus of golf bags. Anyone who mentions Michigan Sports Radio receives will receive $35 off any golf bag. 3:44, fourth quarter. Welcome back in here to Zeeland West. Nate Dreyer with you. My goodness, what a game. What a time for Maddie Petrulia to show up with her first made triple of the game. Been fighting it from deep. She still has found a way to put 11 points on the board. And Petrulia, between that, made 3, fouled on a 3 a time ago. You've seen Hudsonville's offense come back, not the game. But we have got a heck of a 3:44 to close this game out. The intensity's been up. We've seen our first kind of defensive switch of the game turn from Coach Glass. He went a possession and 2 ago to that 1-3-1 trap. They went back man-to-man last time, and we'll see what sort of other adjustments we have down the stretch run of this one. 3:44 to go, fourth quarter, 32 all. Right side inbound, Josie DeSmit to throw in for the Eagles. Hudsonville in the home white jerseys, traveling greens for Jennison. Reifschneider to the top of the key, loosely watched defensively by Titus, the sophomore with 3 fouls, bouncing around the screen. Reifschneider, left side, catch and shoot 3. Petrulia off the connector, no good. Had her feet taken out from under her after the basket, after the shot. No foul called. Jennison the basketball here with Taryn Maynard, top of the key. 3:24 to go. Maynard, man-to-man defense back for the Eagles, throws right side here on to Diaz, loosely watched by Petrulia. In between the rings, Titus. Titus fakes a pass right, throws left. Taryn Maynard stares at the basket, drives, cut off left block, gives it to Rudy left wing. Now right wing on to Titus, lobbing for Hike right block. Hike turns the back, rotates in, left-hand scoop shot off the window, hangs on the front rim, does not fall. Rebound Hudsonville. They can take the lead here inside 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Tied at 32. Reifschneider will back it out. In between the rings with 2:45. Throws right side to Sokolov in the deep right wing. Sammy Sokolov fakes a pass, peering, looking, lobs free throw line for Baker. Baker turns the back with a dribble, hands off top of the key to Petrulia. Shadowed defensively there by Sophia Diaz, and hands off top of the key, or all the way in front of the timeline to Reifschneider. Reifschneider bounds around a screen down the right side of the lane, leaning into the contact, throws right corner now to Baker. Baker curls in front of the free throw line, right side Reifschneider, up fake, walks inside the arc, throws left side to Sokolov, peers at the basket, drives, cut off left block, hand off, curling Baker, drives all the way around. She is tackled on the drive to the basket, and a foul is called. Is it on the floor or is it on the shot? Foul is on Taryn Maynard. And it is going to be on the shot as the beginning of the shot motion was starting for Baker. She goes back to the line after the hard foul. 5 fouls on either team. That's foul 1 on Taryn Maynard. Baker at the line. She has 9. Baker, free throw up, free throw good. Baker joins Petrulia in double-digit scoring. And Hudsonville goes back on top with 2:08 in the fourth. 33-32. One more for Baker. Second free throw straight down at the front rim, no. Long rebound off the floor, settled down by Titus, and given on here for Taryn Maynard. Maynard over the timeline. Backing into Baker left wing. Now Maynard backs it out, crosses, drives, cut off left elbow. Taryn Maynard keeping the dribble across the floor to the right side. Backs it behind her back and will take it out in between the rings. Sokolov shadowing. Sokolov gets a hand on it, knocks it into the scorer's table. It'll stay with Jennison at center court. On the right side for the inbound. 1:44 in the fourth. 33-32 Hudsonville. Maynard watched by Baker over the timeline. Taryn Maynard left side, bounces around a screen. Now Sokolov on the switch, picks her up. Baker gets back on the defense left wing. Titus top of the key. Titus free throw line hike. And a double team is fouled by a reaching Reifschneider. 6 foul on Hudsonville. 1:25 in the fourth. That's 2 fouls now on Ella Reifschneider. 1:25, fourth quarter. 33-32 Hudsonville. Eagles looking for 9 in a row in the district championship. Jennison looking for a backyard rivalry win. Hike, baseline right, lobs it all the way up top, tipped by Reifschneider, but settled down in between the rings by Titus. The sophomore looking right, dribbling left, lost the handle, regathers, throws right elbow to Diaz. Diaz starts the dribble, hands off here for Taryn Maynard, right wing. Maynard crosses down the left side, a foul called off the ball as Baker got tied up with Hike. The foul is on Baker, and that will send Jennison to the line for a 1-and-1. 3 fouls now on Ellery Baker. It's Ella Hike at the line. 1:08, fourth quarter. Hudsonville by 1. And Hike at the stripe. Maryhugh checks back in for Hudsonville. Sokolov takes a seat, so a little bit more size out there. Down the stretch run, Maryhugh with 6 points in this one for the junior forward. 1:08 in the fourth. 1-and-1 at the line, down 1 for Hike. First free throw, good. We're tied. 9 now for Hike. She can give Jennison the lead back. 1:08. Hike, second free throw, rattles home. Got the friendly touch off the glass and go. She has double digits, 34-33 Jennison. Here's Reifschneider driving, scoop shot, off the window, good, and a foul. Six for Reifschneider. Wait. The foul. No, a timeout was called from the Hudsonville bench before the shot. They were pushing, but Coach Glass will call a timeout. That is the ruling. So it remains 34-33. Hudsonville will get a front court inbound. But what a moment that is. Ella Reifschneider with what maybe would have been the shot of the game through contact, able to finish inside, but it's whistled off with a timeout being called right as she was driving into the lane by her own coach, Coach Glass. And now Hudsonville remains down 1 with 1:02 in the fourth quarter. So we set up for this final look. The question is, what does Coach Glass go to? Of course, you would think Maddie Petrulia triple try has been the main thing they've been looking to get offensively for the last 4 seasons. She's kind of struggled from deep so far on this one. You've seen Baker's ability to drive along with the cutting. Petrulia good. I think those backdoor cuts might be the first play that something will be drawn up right here in terms of what Coach Glass is looking for. How does Jennison defend? They've stayed man-to-man the entire game. You can assume the similar defensive setup that they have been going to, they will go back to one more time. 1:02 in the fourth, 34-33. Jennison leading Hudsonville by 1. The Wildcats are 8-16 on the year. Hudsonville 17-6. What an upset this would be. What a rivalry win it would be. What a record it would be broken in terms of Hudsonville's streak. DeSmit to throw in baseline right. Gets the motion going. Holding with 2 hands. DeSmit lobbing all the way up top. Reifschneider able to grab it on a leap with 1 minute to go in the fourth. Jennison leads by a point. District championship game in Division 1. Josie DeSmit with it. Marking out some traffic on the floor. Throws right side to Maryhugh in the wing. Maryhugh lobbing for Petrulia. A foul is called as Diaz grabbed onto a driving Petrulia. That is the 6th team foul on Jennison and the 4th on Sophia Diaz. Baseline right inbound for Hudsonville. Both teams will be shooting free throws the rest of the way after this. 47 seconds to go. DeSmit to throw in. DeSmit lobbing, free throw line. Baker drives, right-hand shot, hard off the glass, no, but a leaping rebound is down to DeSmit to save the possession with 40 seconds. DeSmit will reset the offense, trailing by 1. Right wing for Maryhugh. Maryhugh, right block, Petrulia puts up a shot, foul is called. She is stripped by Hike, and a foul will send Petrulia to the line for 2. 31 seconds to go in the fourth. 34-33, that's 3 fouls on Ella Hike, and it will be Petrulia at the line. Sokolov will get set to check back in here for Coach Glass. The Loyola Chicago commit at the line. First free throw, good. 12 for Petrulia, we're knotted at 34. Sokolov will check in here for Maryhugh, defense for offense. One more here for Petrulia to give Hudsonville the lead back. Bends the knees, right hand free throw. Rattles home, got the friendly touch. Hudsonville back on top, they pressure the inbound. Maynard up the right side of the floor with 29 seconds, trailing by 1. 25 seconds, Taryn Maynard, top of the key. 35-34, Maynard down the left side of the lane, reaching shot, off the window, good for Taryn Maynard. She has 11, 16 seconds to go. Jennison on top, 36-35. Right wing Reifschneider, driving into the lane, left hand shot to answer, no. Put back off the bottom of the rim, no. Rebound down to Titus with 5 seconds and a foul. Titus, the sophomore, will go to the line. Jennison by 1. With 5 seconds. Unbelievable shot from Taryn Maynard. She has 11. And it's the sophomore Titus at the line. With a 1-point lead. 5 seconds on the clock. Titus. Free throw up. Too strong. Fight for the rebound on the floor. Maynard has it, ripping away up top for Titus. Zeros across the scoreboard, and Jennison has won. The Wildcats pull the ultimate upset. They snap the Eagles district championship streak at 8. This great Hudsonville team, champions 2 years ago, sees the last of their core upset in improbable game-ending fashion. The Wildcats, 8-16 on the season, take down the 17-6 Eagles. An unbelievable March moment to kick off March on MGN coverage. Welcome to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency postgame show. And would you believe it? An unbelievable March moment to begin Hudsonville's dynasty run in districts and really in general, somewhat coming to a close tonight. Coach Glass's teams had won 8 in a row district championships, favored by as heavily as you could be favored tonight. But this hard-nosed Jennison team defended and ground their way to an improbable win. The Jennison Wildcats, district champions, and the stunned Hudsonville faithful look on. Unbelievable. We have got so much to get to in this Bates Agency post-game show. Do not go anywhere.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINR.
And welcome back. Game night on Michigan Sports Radio. March on MGN with its first bananas moment in the first game of March on MGN. Jennison and the Wildcats receiving their medals for winning the District 11 championship. An 8-year championship in district run is snapped tonight for Hudsonville, and the 8-16 Jennison Wildcats have won. Here is your scoring recap. The sophomore, Selena Titus, with 10 for Jennison. Rudy Maynard, fellow sophomore, comes up with 5. Taryn Maynard with 11 and the winning basket at the end for Jennison. Ella Hike has 10. For Hudsonville, Josie DeSmit has 2. Ellery Baker with 10. Ella Reifschneider finishes with 4. 6 for Merrihew. And Maddie Petrulia ends her incredible high school career with 13 points today. An absolute stunner. Let's go to our Centennial Securities player of the game. So many options, but Taryn Maynard led Jennison in scoring, the 4-year terrific senior point guard. She also made the biggest basket of her life, driving to the left, able to score through a pair of defenders high off the window. The trophy's been given out, and the Jenison Wildcats are district champions in unbelievable fashion. And this is just the first night on March on MGN. I cannot wait for what possibly could be coming next. Jenison, district champions in improbable, unbelievable fashion over Hudsonville. It's an upset here at Zeeland West. Thanks for tuning in to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio, and check us out all next week long. We have the boys District 11 competition starting Monday with Granville versus Holland, both semis, and the championship game. For everyone at Michigan Game Night and Michigan Sports Radio, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. Congratulations to the Wildcats. A shocker, absolute shocker, as they are district champions tonight.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction.
Lobbed ahead over the timeline to Gable. Gable strikes to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got a right corner for Hagel. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back three for the lead. Buries it pure. Kobe Hagelin, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Hagelin. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good. Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4. 56-45 the final.